Welcome back to The Greatest Attorney. I am your host and your shill snack boy, Chidu Cobra. Gaze into my eyes and trust the snack as it leads you towards another amazing adventure. As we are continuing into the events of The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney, which that's actually kind of interesting if this lady actually becomes an attorney. Last time, as a recap, oh boy. So we talked with this guy, who is our reporter, and he seems about as slimy as it can be. So, now, in order to go through this potential witness report, he requested for our good writer friend here to be here. So we got both of them here. Yay! Without further ado, let's begin. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot how hard. Okay. I asked the English woman for the interview, but she declined. So I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. Why didn't he say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memories and demands are revealed now. We haven't even started. Dude! This is a court of law. This is not some gossip place that you're trying to get all the scoops. Oh boy. You mean to say the victim? The victim regained consciousness? No, there's no way. There is no way that is legit. There's no way that is real. There's no way you can legitimately tell me that that's real. Oh, well, Soseki-san, please.
And when she did, you decided to ask her a question?
Like, well, I guess if the question is, hey, are you okay? Like, what happened? I guess in the panic, that could be a question that could be said to a victim of something. That's, true, yes. He did. And that's not all. The woman gave in a very definitive answer. If you know, just say it. My answer that incriminates the accused. Now I know he's lying.
This is preposterous. Why am I already hearing about this now?
Exactly. For once, I'm on Archie's side here. Why am I hearing about this just now?
Why did you mention this before, you yokel hack?
It wasn't even a conversation! Yes, I did post a with her in English Rose a question, I won't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even. Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. This court must and will know the truth. Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut? I have no idea, but it all smells like... Let me see. It smells like crap. Okay, so she declined the interview. Tell me a bit more about that, though. You ask her for an interview, you say... Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about... Oh, sorry, I spoke another... Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year. About the case in which Dr. John H. Wilson lost his life? That's not the way I phrase it. Minimalism calls for straight talking. Why did you murder Dr. Wilson is how I put it to her.
Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as a ruler.
Ask every question as if you were asking for a menu in a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that.
And how did Miss Brett answer?
With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm.
Ah, that sounds so like her. I barely remember her, and that still sounds so much like her.
Phew, that told me, so I waltzed right out of there.
Some investigative journalist you are, my good man. You didn't even try to press. What is How the hell? Oh my god! I'm
done with this guy. I'm so done with this guy.
Really? Something about that doesn't quite seem to fit together.
Exactly. Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed, and the other... Okay, see, I already heard this. So, what about this, though?
That was very persistent of you, considering what Miss Brett had considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away.
Persistence wins the prize. Any mini-memoist would tell you that.
How many mini-memoists exists outside of you? Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Let them think you left. Then just when they lower their guard, that's when you swoop in for the scoop.
And the fruits of your labor are all too apparent in this telling photograph. Though I'm sure the young yokel student would rather not be reminded of this damning evidence.
Actually, it's next to the photograph that we managed to identify this witness.
And now that you found me, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've got nothing to hide.
I sincerely doubt it.
I'm sure. Why am I so subtle right now?
Please do go ahead, witness. The court is eager to hear what you have to say.
Try to stop me. There's a story to tell here and I'm going to tell it. Detective realized that the victim still had a pole. Okay, yeah. So, okay.
Wait. And Soseki-san remained behind in the hut.
That's right. Yep. Our other friend here was blubbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his nose, mustache twitching, eyes bulging.
I'll take that as the truth, because yes, it sounds like it's the truth.
What do you expect? You don't know the refined troubles that taunted me whilst traveling abroad.
I'm so sorry, dude. I totally remember.
Back behind baleful bars, they'll be coming for me surely. It's all I could think. I felt as though I was gasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat.
Poor Soseki-san. His experiences in London have scared him deeply.
I feel for him, in a sense. But it doesn't matter. As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha. Eternal emptiness, empty eternity, the end is coming for me, surely. No sutras are to resound in my courtroom, please. Really? That's weird. And now, we come to the crucial part. That's when it happened. Okay, so this guy asked him a question. Okay. What question? What exactly did he say? Yeah, that's the thing. What's the question? Well, now, you should hear that from a horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Riderman?
Out with it, you yokel hack! What do you say to her? What do you say to the dying Englishwoman?
Well, in truth, I think catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Okay. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose. Even for a grown man. But then, all of a sudden, from the little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries from hell pierced the air!
Ray.
I ran up to the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as the inspector Hasselnach saw me spread in the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin! Oh, wait. He's gonna ask her if she's a ghost or something, right?
But what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I asked her, who did this to you? In a sense, that sounds like a reasonable question. So let's say what? Okay. Don't protect this any longer. How did the woman respond? She didn't. She did nothing in response. When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony. I will! This guy. Okay, I asked her who did this to you, but she never replied. I need to see something real quick before. Is this about the post-mortem crime scene? Oh, the poison article. Okay. The poison secretly developed in Okay. Either via the mouth of abdominal poison, lace bladder will prove fatal in minutes. Current method can detect near the deadly chemical and used to be consulted. Okay, impaired breathing and new acute contraction of pupils prior to death. Something that could be subjected to this toxin. Okay. So I was looking to see if there was anything here that could help me. Okay, let's see what he has to say about this, though.
So you tried to find out who the culprit was?
He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. That's a nice saying, by the way. I've heard that one a lot. And having been labeled a criminal twice during my trade Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever.
However, you've indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct?
I know why. I know why the Englishwoman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stupid mustache, because I'm Japanese. I'm pretty sure that's not the reason.
Oh dear, Sasaki-Sandra's really developed a dislike for the English, it seems.
I'm actually kind of sorry for the guy. Of course, his mentality could lead to a lot of problems in the future, but I am sorry for the guy. Having read the report this time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised if he is xenophobia. But the English woman didn't. Sorry. But the English woman didn't ignore you at all. Did she, Mr. Riderman? Well, yes, alright. She is responding in the matter of speaking, I suppose.
Alright, keep going. She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant? Okay, no. We need to figure this one out. Wait. Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. Suzuki-san, is that really true?
It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut.
Yep, that's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. There's no way to press to put the thing. But well, think about it this way. Let me see. Okay. The victim is not pointing at the culprit. The victim is pointing past the culprit. That is my theory.
Which can't be denied in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. No. Soseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? But fiddlesticks, I say. This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese.
Also, that was said in English.
Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. Thinking about it, I felt as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing.
So, again, court records. So, apparently, you look at the victim was pointing towards the culprit. But it could have been anywhere towards the back. That's gonna be fun to try and figure out. Yes, it will. I love this case 1's being longer. That's a little thing, because if I were to go back and play the original Phoenix Writer's Attorney, the first case is literally 20 minutes. Like, holy crap, the first case is really short. Okay.
There's somewhere in the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all.
You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear?
Yes, that's it. Unclear. Very, very unclear.
Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavers slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why?
I'm gonna hold you there for a second, because I actually agree with this particular sentence that you're saying. I agree that the victim was trying to say, hey, my killer's there. But I'm pretty sure what you're gonna say is you're gonna spin it to your benefit. Which I'll tell you right now, don't do it. Don't be stupid.
Because as the court can see, there was none other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one else beside the accused could possibly have committed this crime.
And this is where I need to point out that there could be one other person that could have committed a crime. See, it's standard, it's attorney procedure.
I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial.
No.
The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyers hopes dashed. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over.
But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet.
Possible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we will find the clue we need.
Ray gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed.
And that was...
Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying, and then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife on her back. How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question.
And I think I know the answer. I think I know what we gotta do. I take it then that the defense has nothing further to add.
So, the Gallen-Yuckle student's luck finally runs out. Can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I am ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter.
This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim?
If I say I don't know, that's game over essentially. So I have to go through with I know how, because here's the thing. I think I know. What? Wait, that was not was that us? Yes, it was us.
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your education for the time being.
Oh? To what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Ooh, here we go.
Alternative theory? Ha! None exists.
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all of her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
This is fiction. Fantasy.
Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? I initially had the idea that the culprit was hidden in here. That was my initial idea. That said, I don't think so. I don't think so right now. I think the culprit was actually over here, just outside. Why? If we consider the idea that the victim, this victim, was really sitting here. Let me go to the court record real quick. Yes, that's a chair. Okay. This is a chair. This is where I say that she was sitting. And there's also this little like gap that's always been suspicious for me. The gap just behind this chair. And then we have this one. That seems to be from that very gap. Taking this picture. So looking at those two things. The victim was sitting here. And if we take oh my gosh, I forgot her name. The accused. Ray. I don't know why I was trying to call her Jenna, because her name's not Jenna. Also, is her name? No, her name's Giselle. I'm like confusing everybody's name now. What the heck? So, if Giselle was sitting here, if we take Ray's statement to be the truth, then she could Ray could have been anywhere. Let's just say she was around here, around this point. So, dang it. Giselle, the victim, was sitting here. She was stabbed from the back. She stood up, maybe walked a couple steps, fell here. She pointed this way because her killer was from behind when she was, sitting here. That is my theory. So, that is my theory. And I'm pretty sure I'm right. I just need to, get to the point where we can say who's the killer. I mean, I've already mentioned who I think the killer is. So?
Naruhodo-san would never give up. And I am Naruhodo now, I guess. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, Counsel? Oh my gosh. Are you mad? Oh, yeah. Yep. You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut?
What?
Order! 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 Let's do the lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire. That makes no sense at all. You've just pointed out the expanse spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap.
Gee, I wonder why.
But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I consider that.
Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Mr. Prosecutor Ashi, there is a way. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
Oh yeah, we're doing this.
You're bluffing! You're bluffing!
The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? I think this is the point where I present the pictures. Because the pictures do show... See, the picture shows that she was sitting here and there was this gap. That's the thing about this picture. I'm thinking there's something else. I may be wrong, but let's try this. The original photographic print of the crime scene?
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone at least appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Why you sweating milk?
And is that 2% milk? No, you know what? No, I don't care.
You can have that milk. Counsel, once again, I must call you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing which you claim took place from outside the hut? Right in this strangely big gap.
Look closely just here. In the screen at the
Back of the hut. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that blood? Or is that just a shadow? Like oh wait. Like right there. Is that blood or is that just a shadow? Oh well.
in the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't see any such thing. It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. Oh. And of everyone present at the scene, there's only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Right then, Many Mammo-san! It could only have been you!
Oh.
No!
This preposterous
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume as part of this farcical scenario that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not.
We're not.
If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death, it's at the beach hut I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling silly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable.
Stool?
Have an early look at the photograph. The slit in the red screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
So anybody who wanted to kill somebody, all they had to do was aim and shank. That's all they had to do. My word. So, in fact, the victim was
killed while sitting on the stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed to the floor in the middle of the hut before the defendant Membami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day.
what you had to say to that, Mr. Memi Memo? Got something to say, darling? We can be doing this all night.
By your silence, Many Memo-san, I take it that you don't deny the charge.
Oh?
This is
absurd!
That will do. It would appear that we have attacked the conviction of guilt from the witness. Tacit. Tacit? I don't know how you pronounce that. Tacit admission of guilt. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means the defendant, Membami-san, is innocent of the crime. High five! We did it! Of course, we know this is never going to be as easy as it is, but hey, we actually swayed the judge in our favor. This could be good.
Thank goodness.
finally made him cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
No, this can't be. The Ocean Clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope.
I say go see a doctor about that growth. That's all I gotta say.
It wasn't all operation. I can't accept this. I want.
Yeah, there goes my voice, yes. Yes, there goes my voice.
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my...
I knew it wasn't as easy as it was supposed to be.
Wow. This is all very convenient.
This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? I mean, yeah? Like, is there anything you'd like to add, maybe, member, before we put the handcuffs on you? Sorry.
Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
You are a paparazzo. You are trying to snoop into a woman's changing room. With a camera, mind you. How do you believe that you have any credibility, you... But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut. Through the reed screen walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt to the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the English woman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant? Where she was stabbed. How she was stabbed. It doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. What? After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. I don't like your face. What the hell? Yeah, you should leave, dude, because, yeah. What are you talking about? Brace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up. What?
Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness.
What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course.
Poison?
Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that the deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown up that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right?
That is correct. The unusual construction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used.
I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed? You were thinking of something else, and I'm glad I checked this before, but let's look at this again. And I'm pretty sure he wrote this, by the way. So here's how the poison works, actually. Okay, okay. Even the smallest amounts enter either via the mouth or via wounded poison, laced blade, would prove fatal in venom. Alright, just give me a moment. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying about this is... Near the mouth, we are wound from a poison laced blade would prove fatal in minutes. If this is the same poison that was in the first game, in the first case of the first game, just ingesting the poison wouldn't have been a problem. Just drinking it wouldn't have been a problem. But actually, like, having an open wound, that would have been the issue. So something tells me that even if she had drunk the poison, like there, then and there, or somebody else might have made her drink the poison, that wouldn't have been the thing. That thing would be like when she had a wound, aka when she was stabbed, that's when the poison acted. And no, I don't believe the poison that she drank on the first case of the first game was active anymore. I think she would have flushed that out a long time ago. All things considered. But we'll see.
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood.
Exactly. That's the whole point. The poison was circulating in her blood, but the poison was not doing anything because she wasn't wounded.
How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind.
Oh, cállate, hijo de la yegua, que te voy a decir una cosa antes que termine contigo.
Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom in whose back and with whose blade.
Look. If he's admitted that he stabbed her, he should be standing trial as well. Just saying.
Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
No, darling, no, sorry.
Forgotten already, have we, Yoko? During the very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side attempted improving. But the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever.
So, let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turn out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right?
Well...
Order! But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body?
There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
Could you just say drank? Like, could you say that like a normal human being drank? Sorry, had to sneeze. Exactly. You mean she drank it?
Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked into the sandy floor of the beach hut.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Up until now, I never thought about it because we all thought that she had that with her. Oh my god! No. All this time we thought she had this with her. But look here. There is an unopened, a ready-to-use bottle of wine up there, ready to use. And she drank this one. And underneath, can I? I can't. I wish there was a way to like I could just show the picture. Yeah, there we go. So there's the wine that was spilled here, probably poison laced, and this also had the poison in it. So what I'm thinking is somebody gave her this bottle of poison. Somebody, because there is wine here, or at least there is a bottle of something here that she could have drank instead. So this must have come from someplace else. And we already established that he, Wright and Minimemo, went to see her on the hut. So it could have easily been him saying, hey, here's something in exchange for information. Oh my god, it also makes sense. It makes sense why he was just so... why he so easily said, oh, let me ask you a question. She says, no, and I'm like, and he's like, okay, bye. It's like, he's a reporter that doesn't try to report because he's not trying to report. He was trying to kill. He went in with the decision to kill from the very beginning. He stole the poison. Oh my gosh, it was him who stole the poison. Why? Because the poison was on the fountain pen. He stole the poison with the fountain pen, and then he put the poison from the fountain pen, in the bottle. Gave the bottle to her so she would drink it. He tried to get him to ask a question, answer questions. She said no. He just went away like he was being stupid, and he didn't even try to dig in deeper. But that was not his plan. So he went away. She drank it because the poison doesn't actually affect you when you're because the poison doesn't actually affect you when you drink it. It has to go through a wound. It doesn't matter. She could drink the whole bottle and be fine. But then he went to the back. He just walked to the back. She sat down. He stabbed her. And then the wound acted as a catalyst for the poison to activate. That's how she was killed. That's how he killed her. My only question is why? What was the motivation? We got it. We got it. We just need to figure out how to get to that point. Okay. Okay, gas being knocked on the sandy floor in the beach hut. The poison could have slipped into either. Did somebody make Miss Brett drink it? Yep, that's where we need to go first. Well, what do you know? Look at the stash in ice. This will make great front page shot. Now photography at the courthouse. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
Established? What are you talking about?
Huh? Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you.
Me?
What on earth does he mean? Yeah, what on earth does he mean? May I forgot, but what the heck is he talking about? Oh, let me capture those white eyes. This is prime press fodder, this is. It was seen that this trial is not destined to end yet, after all. Unfortunately. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency. You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim. I'm a journo and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now, because that's Minimemoism.
For a brief moment, I thought I illuminated the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again.
Just where is this trial going to take us? Come on, we can do this. I know where we need to go, we just need to find a route there. Complete innocence, okay.
Please. Oh yes, I stabbed the English woman.
Which, by the way, should also put you in a trial because you attempted to kill somebody.
Sheesh. And it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. If the courts weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done.
So you intended to kill her. So you admitted then. This is very important because this is what's going to entrap him. He's admitting to attempting to kill her. And everything happened as I described it. That you are the one who stabbed me spread in the back through the read screen.
You can blame this miserable country of ours.
Huh?
A country that bows to the presence of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like this have? Why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back. I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there.
Do you fashion yourself as some sort of Batman? What an idiot.
Everybody's looking at you like you're the biggest idiot here. As someone who spent his life seeing that the truth is told. Sorry. I feel really awful about giving false information in my testimony before.
Really? Really?
But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me.
Right, what?
That's right, you guessed it. A pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart.
I don't even want to imagine it. You're implicating Ray again.
She's the one who gave the poison to the English woman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap! This journal here is off the hook. The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical.
And therefore, this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical.
Please tell me that you're planning on pressing charges against him. I mean, he tried to kill a person. He's admitted at least to that as much.
That's right. It is logical and true. I'm glad you all seen the light. Justice at last.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Sorry, I went for the wrong place.
And after I made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he gonna get away with it now?
Calm down, girl.
Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stop looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel.
Yep, give me a sec. Sorry. I need some water.
Very well, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial.
And with that,
we're just gonna do a small little intermission. And wait. There we go. And I'll tell you guys right now, when we return in like 5 minutes, I'm just gonna get some water and like stretch my legs a bit. We're gonna go to this testimony. Is it gonna be the final testimony? Maybe. I feel like we're long enough that this is probably gonna be the last testimony of the trial. So, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I just realized that my intermission name for my YouTube is wrong. I need to change that. It's not Shido Cobra official, it's just Shido Cobra. So I will change that soon. But by all means, check me out on Twitter, YouTube, and coming soon on TikTok. I am having some plans to do with TikTok. I'm just waiting on my I'm just waiting on my model, and that's when I'm gonna start doing TikTok. Anyway, I'm back. Let's return to the game screen. Okay, so let's do the final cross-examination this trial. Yes, Your Excellency. Alright, we heard the testimony. Now it's time for the cross-examination. Alright, let's begin. Okay, so he stabbed the English woman. Alright. Something's not right about this. So you do admit that you had murderous intentions towards Miss Brett, then? Huh. The woman's very existence offended at my sense of justice. Your sense of... He's claiming some sort of righteous indignation? She was pure evil. A cold-blooded killer who committed murder right here on our empire's soil. But did your good-for-nothing government do anything? Not a chance. So I had to step in. But the flag of justice, who thinks right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's what drove me to it. So in summary, murderous intentions then? Whatever you want to call it, the point is... that Englishwoman was a blight. So I had to do what was right. For society. Yet, a real wrong was... Sorry.
Yeah, the real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock. a crime for which she must pay.
I'm sorry, is this poetry night? Is this poetry night at the courthouse? Obviously, because the poisoning has nothing to do with me at all. Okay, why? See, this is the point where I think there's a problem, but let me check. Let me make sure.
Hold it.
So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim? Obviously. That'd be like putting a belt on your trousers when you have already wearing braces like this. I mean, I've seen people do that.
The accused administered the poison, following which this witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of murder. That crime rests on the accused's shoulders. That is how the law works, you see, Yoko. Who knows, you may even learn something here today.
2 consecutive attempts on her life in the space of minutes. Quite a day for the victim. Do something that evil and you've got it coming. That's how the law works. The law of reckoning. That's not the kind of law this court upholds. You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim then, witness. Okay. And the purpose, got my goat. Okay, press this. So what exactly were they arguing about? About what happened in the restaurant 9 months ago. That's what. The student girl was laying into the English woman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Yes, Dr. John H. Wilson, a professor of medicine, invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less. Right, but the English woman just jeered.
Her case was to be heard by the British consular court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman.
Do you know anything about that? Because that seemed, honestly, first, that seemed like that was the most logical conclusion, considering what was going on and why she was, why this whole thing with her was going on. But why? The evidence was compelling. He was eating the student girl up inside, you could see it. I really felt for her. Sasaki-san, was that you?
I can't. I can't stand here and listen to the stripe. Ray! Young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whenever you feel like.
No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
But this awful man is making all this up. Suzuto, please. You have to make him listen.
Wait. Shut it. Shut for a second there. You just blurted out her name like that. Oh my gosh. Return to the dock at once, Memami-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination. Wrong button, sorry.
Your Excellency. Please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty Pippin Tom.
Finally, somebody said it!
Oh my god.
Whoa. Take it easy there.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say. Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
I will grant the request of the defense.
But Your Excellency!
This is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing that this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
It has nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison. Ah! This is the break I needed. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, Ray.
Hold it.
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
And this is where we realize that it is the very same poison.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had the knowledge of the new poison.
But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government.
Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or the colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
That's true. I pestered Professor Mikatoba until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his library. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail.
Miss Brett rather promptly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since Suzuki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse.
Oh, look at that! Did you notice that both of them did the same pose? Like father, like daughter. Nice.
Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance.
I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with a deadly poison. Okay. But when was that, though? Was it in the last game? Because I can't remember it very well. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that.
To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there was to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military will be dragged into it. The whole government even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of her and she said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Ah, yes. Minimemo-san, one small question if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy?
Clearly you were outside the beach hut listening in, whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably then, it was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard.
Got something to say? Got something to say?
Let's see. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published this morning's edition of Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. Look at this. The entire article. It's almost what he said to Miss Brett. Word for word.
Oh!
Well, Minimemo-san?
As a journal and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's a founding principle of Minimemoism. So in other words, you're admitting it.
Father's clearly right about this. The reporter did write that article, and he based it off what he overheard from outside the hut.
Okay. So, let's see. it updated. Let's see. The article about poison that was stolen from a laboratory at Yume University, the reporter Benimemo-san based it on the information he gleaned by eavesdropping. Yep.
So, that's what it was all about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her.
Shut up! My stories never stink! Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Oh, I think it does. I think it does a whole lot. See, here's the deal. You poisoned her. You took the poison and you poisoned her. When you found out the poison wasn't going to work just by her drinking it, you stabbed her. That's what you did. And since we already know you stabbed her, all we need to figure out is you poisoned her. That's all we need to figure out. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on record. Very well. You may amend your formal testimony. Wow, he's going. The point is, if you poison someone, there'd be no reason to then go and stab the person as well. Okay. Okay, so I think you didn't even read what you even present, what you even said, you know. I think I'm right. I think I'm right. I think it's the article. Yes! Well, I can think of one reason. What? What? But before I explain, I'd like to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information from the newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut? Remember, you're under oath. Of course he did. There can be no question of that. After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, we were told that it was a terrible toxin. And there is one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Memami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink. Oh, contradictions! Ah, what you gonna do? Where are you going with this, counsel? Minamo-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it. Oh! Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Memami-san had entered the hut. Yes, very articulately put. It's nice to have an expert on things, don't you think? An actual expert on things. Thank you, Mr. Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba. Thank you. When I walked into the hut,
I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison. At which point, Minimo-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What worrying information?
The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy and that it couldn't be readily obtained.
Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death. The extreme constriction of the pupils? Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable. In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
Oh! What? Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Mamami-san being no exception.
Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson, unaware of its telltale properties.
Oh, I like the way this is going.
In other words, someone like you write the many memo.
Ooh.
The music begins.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I'm silly. I'm sorry. I'm silly.
But that's okay. Oh, yeah, I'm just getting hyped up. Because we got him on the ropes.
Oh.
It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day. And it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that was a terrible mistake. Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable. As you listened from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at the point. It was too late. So you hatch a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involves stabbing the victim in the back through the read screen.
And that's why the picture exists.
Because taking the picture at that particular point would have implicated Rei-san.
Objection!
But what good could that possibly do?
Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Of course, didn't quite happen.
Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened.
Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would ever have suspected.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask his use. Which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
Anything else you had to say? Order! 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 The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument that wishes to put forward?
There are a number of... yes! I counter completely.
Objection!
The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top nuts, he is clinging to Law's help.
Ouch! Damn!
Lost out!
Damn, that was tough. Oh, it's many memo now, isn't it? Oh, here it comes. His final transformation. Oh. You pathetic, useless, fallen samurai.
Fallen? Who are you calling fallen? My butt.
I don't need a counter-argument.
What? What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say. Gave it to the victim, you say. Stabbed her, you say. Lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter-argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts. Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself. I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all there. In my many memos. Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That's what the Shoyu News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word.
So, flashbacks. But surely wouldn't be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin from being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
Yes. I knew it was coming, and I have a counter-argument to that. Don't worry about it. How is it? How's that then? Blown the story wide open? See, I write in many memo. A mere reporter from the Shoyu News couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory.
But there can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill. And if that's the case, as you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit there.
Oh, what's your point, you annoying, handsome country bumpkin?
Oh, thank you for the handsome thing. Thank you. You receive a kiss. Except, here. A Hershey's kiss. Oh yeah, they don't exist in that era, sorry. My point is this. There is one way that you, Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
I have heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must be shown is evidence. What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question?
It's the fountain pen, but I want to check the fountain pen real quick, making sure that it has been thoroughly checked. RM for writing mini memo. Sorry, I clicked it. I got the lid, and then we do this. Okay, we got this. This has been thoroughly checked as well, so there's nothing new. There's nothing new. Cool. The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen.
A fountain pen? How could that possibly be relevant?
These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now.
I swear by whistle hair calligraphic brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad.
You, my friend, are gonna be so stuck in the past, you are gonna spin. Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously I love my fountain pen. Suck up a scoop of scrumptious ink, and one's work is awash with words in the blink of an eye.
That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What does all this talking of sucking up ink?
And just as it's possible to suck up ink into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course.
My word, can this really be?
Well, Many Memo-san, when you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Oh!
Objection!
More absurdity! That never happened!
True, we've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No.
No, I'm a little ashamed to say that for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted.
Well, get ready for strip searches, because that's what's gonna happen after this case. Yes, this is quite startling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Many Memo-san. So the crucial question is, when exactly was this pen dropped?
Are you suggesting?
The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act whilst the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
Objection!
There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim.
No.
And when shook by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
Objection!
No. No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
As you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison was filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass.
Come on. If you have any reason to believe that you're innocent, now's the time. Witness, what do you have to say in your defense? So this is how our modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink of my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snaps? I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve. Whoa! Yep, he's gone absolutely mad. You claim I suck up the poison in my pen? That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you could bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again.
Looks as though it's gonna take one final decisive blow to finish this matter.
As I see it, the situation is now very simple. It rests upon whether or not this witness did indeed steal the poison on the day in question. And therefore, it all depends upon whether or not the defense can prove that he did with evidence. No such evidence could possibly exist.
Objection!
Many Memo-san, this is how our modern justice system works.
What?
In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Oh, that's the thing. something you would do well to remember. Because we're all because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
Very well, then. I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence.
This is it then. This will be the final piece of the puzzle. The defense can prove, by means of this item, that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison.
Simple. The chemical reagent. Test the pen.
Test the pen and see if it has any traces of poison.
Counsel, what is that bottle?
This bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Or, from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison.
A reagent? What?
Oh, wait, he was not present when we were talking about the reagent. Ooh. So you see, one drop of the contents of this bottle in the tip of your fountain pen, Many-Mammo-san, it's all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt.
No, you can't. I won't.
Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat. Your Excellency, the defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Here it goes. Oh crap! Oh crap! It's my fault! The Empire drive me to this! Tried to hold it against my eyes. Drop out everything! I took a water for the body pen if I thought I said the body Oh, whoa!
Susato, with me. I'm here.
Oh!
You gotta do it right. That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it? Not quite. That was a real target. Shh, don't tell anybody else. The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present.
Is it gonna show us? When I saw it there in the lab, poison, the devil got hold of me and I decided to do it on a whim. Excused myself and emptied all the ink from down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yes, that's right.
Answer me one thing, Many-Mammo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose?
Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a journal like me to pass up.
And if there's one lesson to learn about this case is, don't be a journal.
Why did the English woman end up dead?
I went to the hut, intending to quiz her on her situation, that's all. As a reporter. A known killer, enjoying full freedom. evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face.
What's... sorry.
What's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism. Really? You must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways, you ignorant plebeian.
What do you call me?
This country, with its pretensions of a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see, you are superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them.
Honestly, nobody's going to... Nobody. No... Miss Brett. Sorry. Nobody's gonna miss you.
Get out of here, you oaf. Get out. And crawl back to the cave you came from.
That's when I remembered about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time. What a terrible tale.
Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Need to blow my nose for a little bit.
What a terrible tale. In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quickly as possible. But I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done. And she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journalist spirit getting all fired up.
I'd like to ask you something.
Yes?
You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought.
There's no justice in the press.
Sorry?
After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what had happened in the courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up! That's what it was!
Huh? A cover-up? What do you mean?
I would remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say. Oh, come on! Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convey a foreign national? Consular jurisdiction should never have come into it. And yet that puffed up English woman was gonna sail away into the sunset a free woman! The only possible explanation is that, behind the scenes, some deal have gone down between Britain and Japan!
What sort of deal?
I've done my research, dug up all the dirt. It was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The The editor just tore the article up.
It came under pressure from the government, you mean?
If our government is going to let criminals walk free, they're going to crush the free press. Then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done myself?
Let's not forget, Many Memo-san, that you committed murder yourself and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Giselle Brett.
What?
Truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all.
I suppose. It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense, Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. I'm musing in a manly way here.
Oh my god. It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience of the Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. In truth, it very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits.
Oh, Ryunosuke, you mean?
The way he handled the trial 9 months ago and the way you handled this one. It gives me hope that we are genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land.
That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most keenly that the future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries.
Thank you.
So, Prosecutor Aochi, do you have any final thoughts? What the? I'm sorry. What the hell is that? Oh my god, no! 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 No, dude! Don't do it! Don't do it, man! Man! Oh my gosh, no! I just figured out what it was! Don't do it, man! You still have so much to live for. Maybe not in the courtroom, but you still have so much to live for.
Prosecutor Aochi.
Aye. That's Sakuchi of the Aochi clan. Been bested by a callous youth. Not once now, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, he has withered and died here today.
Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it?
Silence! Rather than living in shame.
Don't.
I know, man, I know.
I will end it all now with this blade. For that is the true path of altruism.
Aochi-ism?
One hopes that's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself after the witness. Don't. Come on, man.
Break of my top knot. The time is right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. Akatsushi.
That's a nice haiku. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that was just too much. Now, in regards to the defendant, Rei Membami-san,
Yes, Your Excellency.
I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty. Yes! Woo! We did it! We did it! She's free. She's free to walk away. She did nothing. I told you, man. I told you, everybody. She was innocent. Court is adjourned. That was good. That was a good first case. Took me 4 parts to go through it, but that's fine. Alright. You know, it took what, like, actually 4 hours in real time? Well, no, in game time? I think they started courtrooms at 10 a.m. That's fine. It's over. Oh, my heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing. Why yourself such great responsibility? Such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruhodo-san? Susato! Susato! Thank you. Thank you so much. You were so dashing in there. Rei and Father. Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... Oh, no. I think I'm gonna cry. It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end, too. The only reason I'm still here is because of you. Oh, no. I can take all the credit. You took courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Rei. So, I would have to say that the congratulations belong to you. Susato, don't be so standoffish. Sorry? We're friends, equals, and the trial's over. So no more of this formal super humility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger. To throw caution in the wind. Caution to the... what? I'm the great defense lawyer of Ryotaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out to a milk bar tomorrow. Or something. Right, I see. I'll think about it, Rei. She's not gonna do it. At any rate, we really knocked out the wind out of the hurt man, and it felt so good. Oh boy, did it. Yes, it was satisfying. It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could draw together? I hope you're not looking at me, Rei. Oh, my goodness. No. Of course not. Of course not. Ah, there it is at last. Rei's lovely smile. You fought for your friend to the very last. As your father, I'm extremely proud of you. Defense attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo. Thank you. But I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryotaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikotaba for now, right now. So, we'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame. Oh my gosh, Rei. I think you got a thing for pretty boys, Rei. Just saying. What? What was that? Who's that? What? Sorry. What is happening? Oh. Susan designing is Metal Saga. I do hope you have been keeping well. Is that really you? Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope. But it's me, Susato Mikotaba. Oh my god. I don't. So
Dashing, so defined.
Oh my god. David starstruck too. Susato, you're just knocking them out left and right. My word, girl. Word up, girl. No. Suddenly dashing, yes, that devilish divine. Just look at you. I had no idea, Mr. Sato-san Esquires, that you were a locum student, not Hodo-san Esquires. Suzuki-san, if this is the last time we see of you, it's gonna be a shame, honestly.
Astonishingly, astoundingly, Ace Attorney!
Oh, roll credits. He said a thing. Sorry, it's not. I don't make the rules. We roll credits now. Poor Suzuki-san. So confused. Yeah. Still remember the first time I've ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was that the unwitting student from Japan found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Suzuki-san was free to return to Japan. And now, he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author.
I'm stunned. That's a truly impressive disguise. Even I had no idea, and I'm a chief inspector of the police bureau. Who came up with Mr. Turtle, no less?
I'm not sure you should be admitted to that, Inspector.
Amazing. You are a woman of many faces, I see.
Just do really? And this was a once in a lifetime event. I hope. Something tells me this is not gonna be the last time we see Ryutaro. Just saying. Oh! Sorry. Oh, I'm not a patch on you though, Inspector.
Well, I am a professional, of course.
I do worry about Inspector Hosonaga sometimes. I really do. 9 months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover, disguised as the head waiter of a restaurant. And then on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Though that didn't help you, didn't it? Kasuma-sama. Kasuma. Don't worry. From my perspective, I have to admit I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, that the truth has been lost forever. What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that the English woman committed at the end of last year.
Yeah, we never knew why she did it.
Oh yes. It was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it.
Dr. John H. Wilson, yes. The man I invited to Japan personally.
The mystery is, why did she kill him? If I recall correctly, and I would have to go back to look it up, there was a hit list, and Dr. Wilson was one of them. Dr. Wilson was in the hit list. And now that the culprit herself is dead, we'll probably never know the answer.
On the voyage to Great Britain. We had a most unexpected encounter with Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the great detective, I mean.
Yes, I remember Mr. Holmes as well, of course.
Ah, my arch nemesis. How lightly you utter his name. Well, according to the stories published about him in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Sorry, I need some water.
The detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of Dr. of John H. Wilson.
What? Dr. Wilson?
I just can't believe that it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Dr. Sholmes. And if that's really true, then the poor girl will never see her beloved father again. Oh, poor girl.
As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born.
Yes, grandmother told me about it.
On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at the Imperial Yume University. I also serve another role as advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs.
Yes, I was aware of that as well.
In that case, I'm sure you understand. There are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you.
Huh? Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? It's been 2 months since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan. It said that you collapsed with a high fever, and you were growing weaker by the day.
What? Where did that news come from?
That's what I'd like to know, because after the long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain that you...
Sorry.
Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way? Or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of.
Professor?
Hear me. Do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Susato? I'm sorry, my dear.
Let me go! Let me go! What the hell are you...
Minimamo-san! So, one throw wasn't enough for you?
I've got one last thing to say before they take me away. Professor!
Me?
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate! Visiting student? Giselle Brett, you mean... No, not her! The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago! Oh, excuse me, what? What? Student of... He must mean... Kazuma-sama! What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama? Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on the steamship, and that he'll... Ah! Well, I didn't expect him to find him here. What the hell is going on in this game? My god, what the hell is going on in this game? The judge just appeared right in front of it. What? Oh my mind is blowing right. My mind is being blown right now. Help. Help. What the hell? Like seriously, what the hell? What were you officers playing at? Terribly sorry, Your Excellency. This is a massive cover-up. I was coming to tell you that the Rigsaw had arrived. Yujin, and it's a good job I can buy. I can buy. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, thank you for dealing with him. And I'll be there shortly.
Oh, Your Excellency?
Trial's over. I'm not your excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend. Seishiro Gijoku.
Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce the names right. If I don't pronounce them right, I'm sorry.
Seishiro Jigoku. And may I say that since I saw you last, you seem to have taken on a more dashing appearance. Susato.
Did you know all along? From the start of the trial?
The judge sees everything, Susato. I couldn't let you take the risk. If Seishiro here hadn't known and then recognized you, so I had a word in his ear beforehand, as an old friend. So, Seishiro, shall we? Yes. Having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address.
Before you go, Father.
Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. But, well then again, both of you. You did admirably.
Thank you very much.
And what do you think of my Seishiro sling, eh? It's been a while since I sent a man flying like that.
Whatever could Father be hiding from me? About Giselle Brett, about Dr. Wilson, and now it seems, according to the reporter, about Kazuma-sama. I'm gonna have to bring this up with Father sometime, when nobody else is around.
Oh my god. You're still here. Usual assistant Mikotoba-san, Esquires, could I have a word?
Oh, yes, of course, Sasaki-san. What is it?
I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you.
Oh?
I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England.
Oh,
This I have to hear it, yeah. Me too.
please, Sasaki-san, tell me at once.
I will. As you know, my time in England was terrible, cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things I was embroiled in. Thank goodness locum student Nododo-san Esquire stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikotoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report.
My father?
He seemed to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. Yes, anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent a telegram to you, asking you to return to Japan.
I see. What was it then? That particular part my father was interested in?
Yes, we would all like to know. I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in.
2 terrible cases.
I do remember the one case you were caught up in where you were falsely accused of killing somebody.
Of course, I could never forget.
Your father seemed concerned. He to concern himself mainly with the second case. You have to illuminate me because it's been months. What is the second case you're talking about?
Second one? You mean...
The one Mr. Sholmes forbade all any of us to talk about in public? Okay, I'm drawing a blank, so I'm gonna have to go back and figure out what he was talking about, but I do vaguely remember that Sholmes forbade us to talk about something. I just need to figure out what it was. Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first. Trying to remember which one was the second case which he was involved in. Okay, this is getting vague. Way too vague. Well, I don't care. I'd have to listen what the dastardly detective says. Anyway, the point is, please tell me, because I'm loose. I'm trying to remember. It seems that case somehow holds the key to all these curious unanswered questions. Oh! Are you talking about the case that... Are you talking about the manuscript? Are you talking about the manuscript? I have to look back into it. Like, was it the manuscript? Was it something else? Because I'm thinking, I'm just going back and forth. What case are we talking about here? The horrific, hideous case. The case of the haunted lodgings. That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan? Wait. Oh! We haven't done that case. Is that what you're telling us? So, we are going back in time and looking at that case now. I was thinking like, what are you talking about? I thought that whole business was over. But it seems I was wrong. Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told. And that's the end of this case? No, it's not. It's not over yet. Okay. Cutscene.
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again.
Oh, I can't wait.
Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again.
Oh?
Yours, Susato.
No, but for real. Please, let me... I need to know what this case was about, because damn, I'm just like, holy hell. But that is the end of this case. Beautiful. Oh my god. So yeah, that is the end of this case, and I am thoroughly blown away by a lot of incredible like situations that happened. I am Oh my gosh. The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. So, if in memory serves, I'd never played this game before, so if memory serves is not correct. If I'm accurate in what's going to happen, the next case is going to be a flashback case, or at least partway flashback, and we're going back to London. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's going to be so fantastic. So that's it for this case. That is it for the Great Ace Attorney Great Ace Attorney 2 for the day of today. And here's what's going to happen for the next week. A bit of things for scheduling for next week. Tomorrow, I plan to do a small stream. It's going to be my kind of podcast, chat talk, and maybe play a little bit of Tetris 99 because I love Tetris 99 and I want anytime any excuse I have to play Tetris 99 is fantastic for me. So yeah, why the heck not? Wednesday, more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. No, not 2. Sorry, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Hopefully we won't have as much big words going along. So it will be a lot, easier on the eyes, a lot less wordy, a lot less exposition, a lot more stuff that we can do. And then Saturday and Sunday, we come back with more Ace Attorney, back into this third case. Anyway, wait, I'm not doing what? I'm gonna send you guys to Saki, because I'm not a Minecraft guy, but hey, Minecraft is chill and Saki is chill. So yeah, go give Saki some love, and I will see you guys tomorrow with my first episode of the Chiru chat.